Hey kiddos, it's Mrs. Valgarino and I am here to give you a quick little lesson about something new. It is called Supplementary and Complementary Angles, and you're probably wondering, well, what in the world is that? We have learned about angles, some different types of angles like acute, obtuse, right, straight angles, and we've talked a little bit about the degrees of angles, but we haven't talked about this yet. So let's dive in and learn what supplementary and complementary angles are. Okay, so complementary angles are when two angles equal 90 degrees. They are called complementary angles. So 90 degrees, well, I know, whoops, that was a very straight line. I know that a 90-degree angle is called a right angle. That is something we have learned. And I know that usually they tell us it's a right angle by putting this little box in the corner. That's a little hint for us. So it's when two angles add up to equal 90 degrees. So complementary angles might look like this. So we're going to call this, we have angle A right here. Oh my goodness. There we go. And angle B over here. And angle A plus angle B would equal 90 degrees. Okay, so for example, let's say that angle A is 50 degrees. Well, then angle B would have to equal 40 degrees because that would equal 90 degrees. Okay, don't freak out yet. I'm just introducing it to you. We're going to do some practice problems together. But the main thing you need to know is that complementary angles are two angles that add up to be 90 degrees, or they add up to be a right angle. We call them complementary because they complement one another to equal 90 degrees. The other type of angle we'll be looking at today is supplementary angles. These are when two angles equal 180 degrees. So they would be called supplementary angles. Well, I know already that a 180 degree angle looks something like this. And I know that it is called a straight angle. Because straight angles equal 180 degrees. So two angles that equal 180 degrees. So for example, a supplementary angle might look like this. And we'll call this angle C and angle D. So angle C plus angle D would have to equal 180 degrees for them to be supplementary. So for example, we could have that angle C equals 150 degrees. And then angle D would have to equal 30 degrees for them to equal 180. So what you need to know is that supplementary angles are different from complementary because the two angles equal 180 degrees, or the angles add up to equal a straight angle. So how I like to remember this is S for supplementary, S for straight angle, or 180 degrees. That's a way to remember it. Okay, so let's practice together. So here we have a right angle. We know that. And we know that a right angle equals 90 degrees. Okay? So these two angles, because they equal 90 degrees, they are complementary. So I have given you the measurement of one of the angles. So this angle equals 22 degrees. But I want you to figure out, what does this angle equal? What is angle E? So the way that we're going to figure this out is we know that angle E plus 22 degrees is going to equal 90. Because this right angle always equals 90. So angle E plus 22 equals 90. Well, off the top of my head, I don't know what something plus 22 equals 90. So instead, I'm going to subtract. Okay, I'm going to find the difference. So I'm going to take 90 minus 22. Let's see, use my subtraction skills. I can't take 2 away from 0. I'm going to borrow, regroup. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 68. So that means angle E equals 68. And I can check my work by then adding them together. So I can check my work by now putting in my answer. So what did I have? I had 68. And I can double check my work. 68 plus 22 equals 90. Yep, I got it right. So angle E equals 68. And that should add up. 68 plus 22 should equal 90. Okay, let's go to another one. Okay, this here we have a straight angle. Okay, we know already that straight angles equal 180 degrees. So because it's a straight angle, this angle, these two together, are going to be supplementary. Straight supplementary. Okay, so we know that this angle right over here equals 140 degrees. What we don't know is what angle J equals. So we're thinking angle J plus 140 degrees is going to equal 180 degrees because that's what this whole thing equals, 180. Okay, just like with the last one, I'm going to use some subtraction. So I'm going to take 180 minus 140 and see what I get. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 4 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is 40 degrees. So I'm going to take away, let's check it by putting that in there. Okay, 40 plus 140 equals 180. So angle J equals 40 degrees. Also, a good way of checking is by looking at this angle, that about looks like a 40-degree angle, and this one looks like a 140-degree angle. So also checking with the angles and making sure that they somewhat closely match your answer. Okay, we have 2 more we'll do practice. All right, we have another right angle. And we already know that a right angle equals 90 degrees. Because it's a 90-degree right angle and we have 2 angles in there, we know that this is complementary. Okay, complementary. So we know that this angle right here is 78 degrees. What we don't know is what angle B is. So we know that angle B plus 78 is going to equal 90 degrees because it's a right angle. So to figure out B, we're going to do the opposite of addition and we're going to do some subtraction. So we're going to take 90 minus 78. Okay. 8 minus 0, I can't do that. I got to go next door to my neighbor. I'm going to borrow. And this is going to become a 10. I'm going to regroup. 10 minus 8 is 2. 8 minus 7 is 12. So that tells me angle B equals 12 degrees. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and check my work by putting in 12 degrees for angle B and see if it checks out. Okay. 12 plus 78 equals 90. Yep, that is correct. So angle B equals 12 degrees. Complementary angles. All right, let's go to our last one. We have another straight angle. And we know that a straight angle equals 180 degrees. Okay. And because it's a straight angle, it is supplementary. The two angles together are supplementary angles because they equal 180 degrees. Okay, so we know that this angle right here equals 23 degrees. Oh, I didn't label this. We're going to call this angle K. So we don't know what angle K equals. Okay, so we know though that angle K plus 23 is going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite of addition here, and we're going to use subtraction to try and find the difference. So we'll take 180 minus 23. We'll see what we get. 3 minus 0, I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. And 1 minus 0 is 1. I got a big number, 157. Okay, so 157 plus 23 would equal 180. So angle K equals 157 degrees. Can't forget to label that. So these two are supplementary because if we add up 157 degrees and 23 degrees, it equals 180 degrees, which is also equal to a straight angle. Okay, so after you watch this video, kiddos, you are going to do the exact same thing that I just did. You're going to be finding the missing angles of some supplementary and complementary angles. If you're having troubles throughout your assignment, you can always go back and rewatch this video. You can always message me, or we can meet for a Zoom chat to try and work through them. Okay? All right, work hard, kiddos.